Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this episode of the We3 SmartTalk series. This episode is AI in Action, Redefining Customer Experience in the redefining customer experience in the utility sector. We're joined by today with Thomas Lord, VP and CIO at UGI Utilities, and Deepak Garg, CEO and founder of Smart Energy Water, where we'll discuss how AI is reshaping the utility industry. And in this conversation, we'll explore how AI-driven platforms can deliver personalized customer experiences, segment solutions to meet diverse needs, boost operation efficiency, and shape the future of customer engagement in the energy and utilities sector. So thank you, Deepak and Thomas, for joining me today. I will pass it over to both of you to continue.
Thank you, Sarah, and
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Thomas, for joining this Smart Talk session podcast with me. And definitely this global Smart Talk session is we all always get excited to have a person like you, a great friend at the same great industry leader who drove multiple transformation across last 20, 30 years. I don't want to put the into the context, but I always seen you very embedded in both business and the technology. You've seen multiple transitions and transformation in our industry, and as you know that, and we keep talking about this is in last decade, or even I can call it in century, this is the biggest transformation happening in our industry, where the first time both generations to all the way transmission to the customer, everything is getting disrupted. And when they're getting disrupted because of people, billions of people on earth are completely dependent upon this industry. They cannot live without. When they go home, when they go to their businesses, they need power, water, and the natural gas. And there is no better person than having a technology-driven person who's handling a major, biggest business operations at the UGI Utilities. I am really, really excited about this session. Though we'll be talking a lot about tech and AI, and I know that that's your favorite topic too. But at the same time, how that is really going to be helping, to the world we are looking into, and our customer, our businesses, and all. But Thomas, if you can just share with the audience just a little bit about you. I know that a lot of people knows you in the industry, but maybe some common other people will get to know a little bit about you. That if you can just give a quick introduction.
Yeah, so thanks, Deepak, and thanks for the opportunity today. I would say, so for myself, I'm an IT guy, came out of high school in IT and started off building products. So there's a certain affinity with what you have done with the SEW team there, and came to the States, hence the strange accent, came to the States in '91 to actually help start a business for my parent company, which really changed the trajectory of my career, because instead of just being an IT product, a writing code and everything like that, I really helped to enable a business from scratch. And what that led me and took me the path was to business enablement, technology as a tool for business enablement. And that's really where I've applied my trade for the last 30 years in the States, is helping businesses identify, realize, and transform, getting the value from their technology investments. And so, tying that back into what we are at the advent of with this AI-driven world, it's again it's a revolutionary change, because we are making dramatic changes in the past year. In the next 2-3 years, I see that coming along.
Thomas, I think we all talk, and me and you had a multiple conversation on that, AI as an AI or general AI versus vertical AI. And I know that we overemphasize, we are, as an industry, we are more focused on the vertical AI. So when I put this in the context for you, as an industry leader, so I'm driving technology to the business needs, according to you, the vertical AI role in the actual customer of the utilities as a customer experience, how you think this vertical AI CX platform, which is we also used to call the customer engagement, can really provide the very personalized intelligence at the omni-channel, for customer benefit. How you see that, it doesn't matter they are residential customer or the business customer, how you see that?
Yeah, so I think that I like the, as we discussed, I like the vertical AI naming what it implies, because I think what people see today is generative AI. They see the chat GPTs, they see that type of thing. The real value, I think, comes for utilities and or businesses like ourselves with where you can deploy the artificial intelligence capabilities against a known defined process flow. So therefore, you can build a history within a context. So for the customer, now you're in the situation whereby if you take a look at our customers from a utilities perspective, there are a finite set of things for which they come and engage with us on, starting from, hey, I'd like to get service at this location. And so being able to employ an AI within that space, you can tailor it, you can tune it, you can refine it to actually handle the customer in a way that's probably even could end up being better than it would take for you to train a person to do that. And it's doable, as I said, because it's a defined process, because it's a defined set of outcomes, questions, answers, expectations. So I see a huge opportunity there. I think the challenge is going to be for us as the utility companies to actually understand how we go and take advantage of those capabilities.
No, I think, Thomas, we discussed that, you rightly said, is definitely what AI can do, what we see the outcome for what AI can do in a general format versus vertical. And you rightly said, with a very defined business processes, very defined outcome in the regulatory context, and the customer expectation, because all other things have a good error to be incorporated and is okay. But when we are talking about our commodities, water, power, and gas, when we are actually giving an answer or performing a job for our customer through the AI, it has to be precise, very precise. It cannot be just precision-wise. And I know that when you talked about it, it's not only what we can answer, but can we perform, the job, what customer is looking, just like you made the point, is starting the service or giving a better customer an option to how they really can sign up for certain programs, or how they can pay the bill and what are the best rate available for them. And I know that you were talking about that goes very deep into the broader systems. And for that, the data sets are very enterprise, the integrations are very important. And I'm 100% aligned with you, is that vertical mindset and vertical AI mindset is for our industry or any industry will be the most important to take the outcome, out of that.
Yeah, I think, and one of the things I'd like to add, Deepak, is that to me, the opportunity, the benefit, and possibly the only way for many of us utility companies to really make that revolutionary step is through partnerships with like yourself. Because for me to go and invest in building that AI knowledge capability, knowledge set, and usage set, truth be told, probably can't afford to invest in it on my own. And so I see the opportunity with like an SEW where you guys are pioneering, driving some of that capability and putting it into your product. Being cheap, as people tell you, I end up being able to get advantage of that with your other customers, all of us helping to fund the pieces of it without having to pay for the whole thing. Because, if you take the customer space and then you multiply it across operations, engineering, and all the other places where AI could bring value, no one company can afford to be on their own investing across all those areas.
No, 100%. And I think I can say that, to your point also, the AI is a journey, because you keep fine-tuning the decision trees, you keep making your models learn with the more new data sets, precise data set, you keep checking how the training data set is precise, for good
Right.
reasons. You rightly said, it's not a one-time investment, it's a constant journey of investment and outcomes to take ownership. And I'm being very open with you, and we discuss about that. For us, this journey started 6 years back, when it's not like because everybody started talking. And you rightly said it is an expensive, it was expensive, but we actually picked up the very important use case which mattered to the industry, not just to take a broader approach, go very vertical, very micro focus on what exactly going to be matter for the utilities and the customer and the operations. And I think you rightly said, and when you talk to the customer in the United States or the Canada or Europe or Asia, the use cases are different, but ultimately the scale of the use case can be different and time of requirement of those use cases can be different. But ultimately, all those use cases combined give the capabilities, and leverage each other, what's been learned in the region A versus utility A versus utility B across the board. And then I see that now what we started doing for a different customer 5 years back, now everybody wants that today. And which is really is a cloud intelligence which we are able to incorporate in our platform, and we keep going on that journey. But for sure, thank you for the comment too, Thomas. I think that's really very important, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to tell people, it's a hard to not, it's not only in money and the time, but the skill sets required in a vertical AI is entirely different than when you talk in the broader context of the some engineers, data scientists and all. But no, I will not go there. But I want to really, I know this is like the very generic question, but I think it's a lot of people are kind of in their mind are putting this question: is AI in the context is overhyped? What do you think? From your standpoint, why understanding according to, and you already explained a little bit, why the understanding of the business context is so critical in our industry, or in a vertical AI mindset, and taking the advantage of technology and navigating that to the success in the company like you. What do you feel about that?
So I contrast what I am seeing in today's space around AI to where we were back at the turn of the century with the dot-com era. Sure. So the dot-com era proved to be a revolutionary step for information technology and how it could be used. And for those of us who go back a little bit, we could remember we had every other day you had some IPO of some new dot-com company, and we had all of this what's the word, hype, and I would say super hype, right, around all of these things. And it took a while for that to play through, and then you established the really what the standard, the foundation for what it meant to be an online business, to have an online presence. I see a similar thing happening. I think we are at the front end of the hype cycle of AI. And, it's great to be able to go on one of these platforms and ask it questions and get answers. And maybe majority of the time you get a correct answer, but who knows, right? So these general platforms, I think, have and stoke the hype. And so what we have to figure out is, how do we evolve now that we've hit this revolutionary step? How do we go through the evolutionary steps to get to whereby this capability actually becomes a useful tool? I know there's some of the scaremongering around AI, it's going to replace people, I personally see it as a tool that can be used to enhance how we go and deliver the things that are needed. And so I think what will happen is that we will find some areas where there are well-defined business understanding, manageable set of use cases, and that's where we will start to make the evolution of the revolution. That's where we'll start to make the steps that prove out how do you go and do this? What's the correct approach? What's the studied approach to go and do it?
I think, Thomas, I cannot put the more emphasis on what you already compare. I think you all seen 20 years back, 25 years back, the whole .com, everybody kind of try to prove that online store will be the future, while a lot of people didn't double click on the business value and what exactly needed to be done, other than one company which really came out very successful, which has gone all the channels very deep to offer, that is Amazon. And I feel that there was a great byproduct of what we see in the value. But in the AI, today you said that people are talking still more generic, but if they don't go and double click to more complex and deeper vertical use case focus, by adding a .ai in the company name will not help nobody, because again, you rightly said it, and I'm not being critic about the things, but I see a lot of people actually change their .com name in last 1 year or 6 months as .ai, and it's really unfortunate or the fortunate at the same time. People try to do, but by changing name will not help. But being very focused and investment of the time and a core focus will be really going to be solving the problem for our industry or any other industry for good reasons, And I 100% my second point is really on the same point. What you said is, if we really get focused and be very honest about what we want to do by AI, the opportunity is big, very big in front of us, because definitely what we are able to see it in the vertical AI, that's a great value. And I know that, we've seen through our platform itself, multiple utilities are getting a big time saving of their OPEX, and even some of the major capital projects to actually use that spend to the right big work they are trying to do, rather than going, and spending the money. So when you look the lens of AI in operational efficiency and the customer to be connected to the utilities, how you think this vertical AI platforms can streamline, because that operation doesn't matter in the field to the customer, overall reducing the cost and making, as you already said, that if the customer have a more intelligence available through the AI and even customer service reps, we can serve the customer better and faster and more productive. What's your point of view on that part?
So I think that when you take a look at the customer experience, you can segment that into receiving service, addressing billing, addressing a problem. And so the receiving service is one that really has to have us integrating the customer experience deeply into our organizations. Because if you think about it, the person that the customer interacts with, our representative, isn't the person that is actually going out there to install a meter, turn on service. So I think that's going to be probably a later challenge. I think the earlier challenge that we can deploy AI on is on the front end, where the customer has a billing inquiry, has an opportunity, they would like to figure out how to make a payment arrangement, or they had a late payment, and those types of relatively narrow, straightforward interactions. I think once you get to the deeper interactions, trying to get a service turned on by a certain date, we have to take the customer type solutions and similarly plumb that all the way through our infrastructure to the field technician who gets out there to actually do the work. I do think that's going to take a little longer. I think for ourselves at UGI, it's a longer step because we're still in some transformative activities around that, but others can get to it sooner. But I still think that it's a second or third step from how you go about deploying AI to the customer.
Okay. No, thank you, Thomas. I think that's really, really important. You rightly said, that we have to watch before we get it can be proven. It has to really give that advantage, and only you can deploy. And again, there's nothing called fast adoption or low adoption. Is a value adoption. It's
Yeah.
really create a value for sure. I think that will make its own path. So when we put that in the context, the future of vertical AI in the utilities, according to you, when you look into the future, how you think, from your point of view, that would this vertical AI continue to evolve our sector, which is energy and utilities, and transform this whole both connected customer and workforce and asset point of view, according to you?
So I think that you will have initially, and by that I mean over the next probably 1 to 3 years, a number of vertical solutions that are in existing business process flows, but are essentially standalone. So for example, we talk about the customer interaction, the self-service capabilities. That's one. We have other business activities that we do where we go out and we have to, probably an easy one people know, we do a call before you dig. We look to protect property. So that's one whereby using the AI capabilities, we can assess the likelihood of damage. We can assess the likelihood of an incident and therefore apply more emphasis on those with a greater likelihood to be impacted by it. So when you look at that, those are two separate vertical stacks where you can be deploying AI. As you get down the road, now you get to the situation where you may have a homeowner who's now wanting to go and dig, and instead of calling a different number, they can come in through the same flow and it gets optimized all the way through your business process. So, that's a little bit of a reach, but that's something whereby you can bring in vertical point-oriented solutioning that over time you can then stitch together across your business processes.
Thomas, I can definitely, on behalf of the industry, I can say, and all our current clients and what we see globally is 85% of the clients, the energy and utility clients, are asking us, to go for the next use case for them to be part of availability as a part of our platform. To a point, not only to those use cases are getting more and more important, but at the same time, those assets, workforce, and the customer keep coming closer. And we want to make sure the customer workforce is informative to take the right decisions and intelligent decisions. Before, it's, to your point, somebody digging in that and having a big damage is really, really not only bad for that customer, at the same time bad for everybody in the neighborhood, and maybe it can really cause a major issue.
Well, and I think when we get to the point where we have the better understanding and a more wholesomely integrated AI platform, you now are able to determine the causal effects of an action you take, right? And you can do it both ways. So the customer calling in saying, hey, I'm going to go do this, you can then get a determination of what's happening. Conversely, if for example, we do repair work or we do improvement work. Now you're in a situation where down the road, as you plan to do that, you can actually proactively know which customers are going to be impacted on which days. And you can come back and you can reach out to those customers and say, hey, by the way, today the way we do it is that we send out a notice, X number of weeks before in the papers, in the press and everything to say, hey, by the way, we're going to be digging on your street for the next month. Now we can actually when you have that flow and that information flowing more readily, you can assess, having the solutions assess the impact to the potential customers and reach out to them, right? And let them know individually. Everybody's getting texts these days. Now you get a text to say, hey, by the way, sorry, we're digging in front of your house tomorrow. And I'm just visualizing what I think is possible.
No, Thomas, I'll always love that energy and excitement, with all the knowledge and intelligence you share. And I still remember, and I want to, first of all, thank you for being the big believer of the digital transformation platform from customer experience standpoint. And I know that you selected SEW and SAP for that digital transformation 6 years back, and your confidence at that moment was very, very instrumental for our success and industry success. Today we say that the biggest water power gas company in the United States or Canada or globally running on a platform because of that initial trust. Leaders like you put it in our platform. And I still remember, I know that I always make that, you going on a stage and taking the mobile app and telling everybody in the conference, okay, guys, this is the way we need to connect to our customer, because we want to make sure a customer real-time connected with us, and we want to serve them 24/7. We don't want only to have them a call center to make a call. We love to take those calls, but visually making that all the capability available. It was really 6 years back, it was really a big decision. And with that confidence and excitement and support, I think industry's seen after that a big revolution. We've seen a big revolution across the board, in transformation. And I think I'm looking forward for the same in the AI area too, with all the vertical AI we will be doing together and with the industry. And on that note, I really want to thank you, but I feel that Sarah have some questions. I know there are a lot of questions in the chat we received, but I'm going to be putting this 2 questions in front of you quickly, because I know we have a limited time, only 4 minutes left, if that is okay. The first question is, how are you going to be prioritizing AI investment in customer experience while aligning with the broader organization goals?
So as I think I touched on a little bit, to me, my investment in AI is going to be through my partners, right? Trying to encourage them where I see there's opportunity, or where they come and they say, hey, there's this opportunity. I have to evaluate that in relation to a transformation journey that we're on. And so it's great that we're looking and talking about things in the 3rd decade, but as some of you will know, I still have a mainframe. So I'm still getting my company into the 21st century. We're now talking about 3rd and 4th decade solutions with this AI. So I will be selective in what I do. I'll be looking to my partner companies for what they can bring to the table so that I can contribute to it, but I can't afford to fund AI in its entirety for my company.
Sure. You don't need to worry about that. SEW already investing a lot and then working with a lot of clients, and we love to share all that knowledge with you, without.
But Deepak, you can't double my annual fee, okay?
No, for sure, sir.
Okay.
And the second question, the last question, I know that we are on the very tail of the time. As a leader, how you foster this from audience? As a leader, how you foster a culture to really embrace the AI and digital innovation across your organization?
So the challenge comes that understanding the difference between what is being hyped in the media these days versus what can actually bring value and help drive another level of transformation for our companies. So that's really the discussion that with my team that we're having, which is let's ensure that we are applying the solutions, the capabilities in a manner that not only bring value, but also that we can afford. We've analyzed a couple of areas where we see opportunities, but for us, we'd have to go it alone because it's an area where there's no market. So, and when we look at what we would have to invest to get real value, it does not address the costs that we're saving. So we'd be investing X times more than the cost we'd be saving. Now, if there was a partner company that was bringing that solution and we could pay a portion of it, that would be great. So I see us having it that way. It is trying to not get caught up in the hype cycle. Let's not overspend for the value we get in return.
I think, Thomas, I can tell you one thing is you made a very, very important point, and I'm just giving you a reference. I'm not going to be putting the company name, the utility company name in the US only. But when we deploy, this is a use case, when we talk about this around the 2.5 year back, the chatbot, which is being fully end-to-end AI driven, fully end-to-end, vertically AI driven, not only for answering the question, but performing the job. We were actually surprised with the amount of interactions and the queries and the means like this is really a customer, 1.4 million customer, within the very 9 to 10 months of the time, want to talk to the bot, during off time, not during the time where the customer call centers are available.
Right.
Able to resolve 98.3% precisely what the customer was looking. And the saving was around $38 million,
Yeah.
And it was like completely, for us, it was a not only big surprise, we knew that there's a great benefit of what we're doing and all in all, but actually that's really fueled all our brain and all our effort and the mindset. If we want to make sure the AI should be not an expense, AI should be not an R&D project. AI should be in our industry as a vertical AI, should be helping every use case to save money so that we can go in front of the customer. We advanced to the technology stack, leveraging the AI for lowering your bill because we don't want you to pay more for for our natural gas or the power or water, because this is again the most important commodity, and we have to make it affordable because not everybody can afford the expensive water, power, and gas. And I can tell you it was a big eye opener for us. And right away, and this is where you can see, and we talked about this, in last 22 months or 24 months, we've gone completely double down on very high priority, very deep, high value creation, use cases to convert and go focus and build it and offer that to our global customers, And you really said it's not something anybody or everybody wants to take it as just because of priority, because of hype. And I love that your answer, that rather than looking on the hype and we need to do it versus what value it creates for our operation, for cost reduction, and the better customer satisfaction and meet the regulatory need. And I think that's truly, I love that, your answer for that. But thank you, Thomas, first of all, your time. I know you're very busy, and giving your 38 minutes, it's not easy, and I know that this information, this session will be a very helpful for a lot of global clients and a lot of team members and our partners. And I really want to thank you from heart, for that. Thank you for your time.
Deepak, you're very welcome, and thanks for the opportunity. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Take care.